Hi guys, it's Lyra. This is Obviously Dreadful. Obviously, I have a head full of dreads and quite a lot to say. Many opinions, most of them unpopular ones. If you're new, stick around, have a chat. Maybe we can be friends. And if you're one of my returning subscribers, I love you. With that being said, tonight we're going to get a little deep. Here's your warning. If you're here for it, click in. If you're not, click out. Either way, no hard feelings. I appreciate you no matter what. Let's go. Hi guys, happy Wednesday. I hope everybody is doing well. I hope your week has been a good one and that the rest of it is just as good, if not better. So tonight, like I said, we're going to get a little bit deep. So first and foremost, we're going to preface with my opinion only. You're not required to agree here. There's no banishing, blocking, telling you how horrible of a human being you are. If you have a dissenting or differing opinion, you are welcome to leave it in the comments so long as it is respectful. Outside of that, it's just an opening to a conversation, one that we all need to have. Second thing, I guess that's it, right? Yeah, it's my opinion, and you know, that's that. So tonight we are going to actually react and break down and discuss a song together. The song is called Fake Woke by MacDonald. I have recently just come across this artist. It came up on my recommended, which is odd because I don't really listen to rap. It's just, I preferred it years ago. Today's isn't my thing. But I don't know. I think we come across the things that we come across because we're supposed to. And I am so grateful that I did. And I've listened to a lot of his music since then. And I actually listen to this song consistently now, just to remind myself. I think it's kind of one of those songs that really does put a lot into perspective. Could you become offended? Here. That's the other warning. Maybe. Should you? Absolutely not. And I say this because, and this is just how I look at things, I feel that with things like this, and you'll understand more if you haven't heard it already, maybe you have, because it kind of did blow up. Which is amazing for him because he's an independent artist. He does everything on his own with his girlfriend. I think that is phenomenal. But you understand more what I mean about maybe being offended, and how I would look at that. I'd probably want to ask myself, what was making me offended? Why is something that he said offensive to me? Where is that feeling coming from? Because it's likely not coming from what he's saying, because I find that the majority of the things that he says in this song are facts. They might not be popular facts. They might not be facts that people want to discuss or hear. They're kind of the things that get pushed under the rug, or you're supposed to be quiet about, or you're going to get censored for. So I think it's important, because these are the kinds of things that can start the conversations that can maybe start bringing us together, instead of us consistently allowing this line of division. Like, if you're not on this side, you're on that side, and that's it. And it doesn't have to be that way. I can agree with things on this side and think some of the stuff that they do is absolutely like bat shit crazy. And I can agree with some of the things on this side and then think some of the things that they do is just like, what is wrong with you? So it's about finding that balance and understanding that even if you are register to vote a certain way, or you know what I mean, doesn't mean you agree with every single thing that party does. I mean, at least you shouldn't, because there's never going to be a human being who can, you know what I mean, who we 100% agree with 100% of the time. It's just not something that's logical. So, and you know, big on logic. I try to use it. I also feel like in these situations, it's very important. And here's the key. This is the key. I promise you it is. And if you try this, I promise you'll see results. I promise. Even if you just notice small results at first, you will see results. When you have difficult conversations, politically, racially, you know, even with your partner about, you know, love, marriage, kids, anything that can be difficult, where you might, you know what I mean, if you're on opposite sides of, you know, a topic and you don't necessarily agree, when you're trying to have that conversation, you need to take your feelings and emotions out of it. It's easier said than done. It takes lots of practice and lots of time and consistently reminding yourself to do it and watching your mindset. Instead of becoming so triggered at things, we would then start to see things more objectively from the other perspectives that lay out there. We still might not agree with them, but we can at least understand them or empathize with them or find the things that we do agree on and then focus on those instead of the ones that we don't. Again, just my 2 cents, just my opinion. You don't have to agree, but I just find that if you make difficult decisions or have difficult conversations from an emotional standpoint, a lot can happen. First of all, I mean, it can beat you down. It can beat another person down. You see what I'm saying? Like, it wears at you. It eats at you. Whereas if you remove your emotions from it and literally just focus on the topic at hand and listening and hearing and then discussing, you grow, you learn. Even if it doesn't change your mind, and it's not necessarily meant to, it's still progress. Am I the only one? I mean, I'm okay with that, but you know. But I told you guys from the start that, you know, we would have difficult conversations. This would be a place where we could come and do that. It would be a safe space because nobody's required to agree here. Nobody's going to be blocked because they have a different opinion. Nobody's going to be blocked because I don't like what they have to say. Nobody's going to be blocked because I don't like their political views or their world views or their views on the economy or their views on... No, it's just... No. So, I like to have conversations. You guys are so insightful, and I appreciate that so very much. So I feel like maybe I came across this because we were supposed to listen to it together and hear it together and discuss it together. So you're going to get my take, and then I want to hear yours down in the comment section down below. I will also put the link to his music video, which he makes by himself with his girlfriend, in the description. Definitely go check it out because, again, this is an independent artist that we're talking about. These are people that are doing this all by themselves, saying the things that artists that are signed to labels wouldn't dare say, even if they thought it, because we all know that cancel culture kind of rules the world now. People lose their jobs, people are censored, they're deleted from the internet. So, you know, to have even the courage to say things that you believe, and say them in a way that it can open up discussion for the masses is commendable. So, I mean, I, you know, definitely want to make sure I have the link down below. And, you know, if you guys go check that out and maybe leave him a comment or a like or something so that he's getting the engagement and the credit for what he's creating, because I know that I appreciate it. Hopefully you will too, and we're going to find that out now. Now, we all know, okay, so bear with me as we go through this. I'm a talker, so I'll try not to go on, you know, too much of a tangent on anything. And we also know that I'm recording on my iPhone, so I'm trying to work the Android, and I'm not always the best at that. So bear with me if I mess it up. I promise we'll get it working, but yeah, I think that's it. Okay, guys, so without further ado, let me get the song pulled back up because, of course, I messed that up, but here we go.
I think it's crazy I'm the one who they labeled as controversial, and Cardi B is the role model for 12-year-old girls. There's rappers pushing Xanax at the top of the billboard, but if I mention race in a song, I'm scared I'll get killed for it. It's backwards, it's getting exponentially dumb. It's more difficult to get a job than purchase a gun. Eminem used to gay bash and murder his mom, and now he doesn't want fans if they voted for Trump. We're ashamed to be American. You should probably love it because you have the right to...
Let's just stop right there for a minute, because so he just comes out of the gate swinging, first of all. Like, it just doesn't, there's not even a warm-up to, like, you're about to get gut punched with some truth that you might not want to hear or might offend you because you like this person or you like that person or what have you. But let's just break that down, because he says so much in this song that I think it's important to make sure we catch it. And it's not like, you know, we can't understand, we can't, he you know, is crystal clear. But so the first thing he says is, you know, Cardi B being the role model for 12-year-old girls. Is that really a role model that we want for 12-year-old girls? Now, that's no shade, and I don't believe it is from him at Cardi B. She can do her thing. I think every woman, I won't go on a whole tangent. We can have a whole other video about that. Should do anything that she wants to do. Enjoy doing it. Be proud of doing it. Own doing it, and never be ashamed for it. The conversation, though, is, you know, are we paying enough attention to what kids are listening to, who they're looking up to, who they're emulating? Because some of Cardi B's songs might not be appropriate for, well, a lot of them might not be appropriate for a 12-year-old girl. I mean, you know, I've caught clips of her shutting her music off when her own child is around her. So, you know, I don't even think that she would be necessarily offended by that. I just think it's honesty, though, that certain people don't want to hear, because one, if it's our kids that are listening to it, it might make us have to be like, can't believe he said that. You know what I mean? But in reality, it's, you know, that we might be offended because we, you know, that's the first time that we were actually made to think about what our kids are listening to. So it's just something to, you know, keep in perspective. The next thing he says is, you know, about Eminem, and he used to bash and talk about his mom in not such nice and ways, which he admits and owns. And, you know, hey, so I don't believe it's a diss to Eminem at all. I believe that it's just, this is a fact. He used to do these things, but now he will openly say he doesn't want his fans if they have voted for Trump. But those are the fans that got you to where you are now. So, you know, or at least a good portion of them. So, trying to be careful, but it's just kind of hypocritical. Do you see what I'm saying? Like, it, you know, why does it matter who your fans voted for? How is that affecting you? now that you have the fame and the money, it's a problem who somebody else voted for, because why do you even care? Do you see what I mean? Especially if nobody canceled you, nobody stopped listening to you, they didn't stop supporting you. I mean, we all know that Eminem has some serious fans. So I think the point is, you know, just how easily hypocritical people can be. And I think you know, it's something to pay attention to. And then you make up your own mind whether, you know, okay, he doesn't want fans if they voted for this person or that person. Do I still want to support somebody like that? Because the next time he could be talking about who I voted for. Or you see what I mean? But again, I also don't believe in cancel culture. So I'm of the mind it should be coming from him, where it should be, it doesn't matter who my fans voted for. Do you see what I'm saying? But that's, you know, me, because I try to remain on that even keel as much as I can. Sometimes it's, you know, easier than others. We'll just say that. Okay, let's go, because we'll be here all day.
Hated and not get stoned to death in public. As children we were taught how to walk and talk, but the system wants adults to sit down and shut up. Cancel culture runs the world now, the planet went crazy. Label everything we say as homophobic or racist. If you're white, then you're privileged, guilty by association. All our childhood heroes got Me Too'd or they're rapists. They never freed the slaves. They realized that they don't need to change.
Okay, so cancel culture, I literally just got done talking about that. So, I mean, do we really need to just keep going in that circle? It does. Should it? No. And I'm going to say this, and, you know, let the chips fall where they may. Again, I've said from the start, I have unpopular opinions. I know that I do. I'm well aware of that. I might look at a lot of things differently than a lot of people do. I'm not afraid to be, you know, the one that stands up, you know, sticking up for that one person while everybody else has a completely different opinion. That's always been me. But I'm of the mind where I don't know when we got so sensitive. I don't know when we got to the point where literally everything, out of everything, some part of it offends somebody somewhere all the time. Why? I mean, when we grew up, you were taught, you know, if you don't like what somebody has to say, if you don't like what somebody's doing, if they're not doing things that align with, you know, your moral compass, if they're not, then you just don't pay attention to them. You don't associate with them. You don't talk to them. You don't have to be rude to them. You don't have to be nasty, but you can certainly share your opinion and your thoughts on, you know what I mean, with them, or, you know, however, but you don't go on some mission to cancel them or stick a label on them, like you're racing around. Do you see what I'm saying? And I know that's a touchy subject for a lot of people, but it is, because we have a government and a media and who consistently keeps that flame lit. I'm not saying that there are not those kind of people. I'm not saying that at all. Of course there are. But that doesn't make everybody that way. That doesn't mean that, you know, just like he mentioned white privilege. Of course there's certain privilege to, especially with some, in being, you know, just from being white. And I understand that, and I absolutely acknowledge it. But there's a lot of different privilege for a lot of different things. And, you know, just because, you know, I'm white, but that doesn't mean you know how I grew up. I might never have had anything. I might have had a really rough life. We don't ever really know what somebody else is going through. Again, I'm not saying that there are not groups who deal with more. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that we also allow this division and this to just consistently be flamed and flickered and tossed back and forth and fingers pointed here. And now we want you to draw your attention here to this group. And now it's this group. And now it's... And are we not realizing that, like, it's the goal? That's what they want. I'm sorry. I feel that way. They want that division. That they know how heated that topic is, how hot that topic is. And if they can keep people mad about it, it's easier to control how you think. It's easier to control what you do. It's easier for them to make you think that they're coming to rescue or help you when really they're doing nothing for you. Because we have an administration right now who is certainly sitting in there, who promised all these things, and that was going to be their focus, and they were going to help these communities. And we just gave some kind of weaponry deal to somebody that is in some way affiliated with the Biden family. And I'll have to pull that up because I know this affiliation exists. I can't remember right now word for word where the relation is, but it's there, okay? But we still haven't done anything about student loan debt. We haven't done anything for Black Lives Matter. We haven't sent out any stimulus checks that we promised would go out immediately after that Georgia runoff, which I could have told everybody was not going to happen. We still have people who haven't gotten the first one. We still have protests going on, riots going on. Think about why they want you divided, is all I'm saying. Do you see what I mean? Because it keeps your attention away from those things. Instead of thinking about all the things that they're not doing, you're constantly busy defending them because they made it seem like, oh, they were on your side, for now at least, until it's, some other side that they'll benefit more from. Because that's just how it works. People in power want one thing only. Most of them. I'm not going to say all of them because that's a terrible thing to say, and I won't generalize that far. Most of these career politicians who should absolutely have term limits and have been there far too long, the only thing that they want is to stay in power and to help themselves. And they will do it at the detriment of all of us, some of us, part of us. Just my opinion. Again, it's an unpopular one. You do not have to agree. I'm just, just another way to look at it. Just makes you think. That's all I'm saying. Just makes you think. But anyways, we'll continue because we'll be here for 6 hours over a 4-minute song because you guys already know. I mean, we should have all known. When he made this song, if I came across it, it was just going to be a whole thing.
They gave us tiny screens, we think we free cause we can't see the cage. They knew that race war would be the game they need to play. For people to big teams, they use the media to feed the flame. They so fake woke, facts don't care.
So we literally just talked about that. Basically, I just ended up on that tangent over the last thing, so I'm not gonna, repeat myself. You can rewind and replay and fill it in there because it's the truth. That's all I'm going to say. And then as far as, we just don't see the cage now. They gave us tiny screens and we don't see it. It's the truth. If they can keep us focused on other things, that's all I'm saying. Much easier to control. Especially then when you're censoring certain people, certain points of view, certain topics, too much truth, too much this. Always the reason,
About feelings, they know, they won't tell me what to believe in. They so fake, woke, same old safe zones. They so fake, woke, facts don't care about your feelings. I think it's crazy see all these people screaming facts, but they fake woke. Hate their neighbor cause he wears a mask or he stays home. Has a daughter but his favorite artist said he slays hoes. Picks her up from school, music slaps on the way home. Censorship's an issue cause they choose what they erase. There's a difference between hate speech and speech that you hate. I think Black Lives Matter was the stupidest name when the system's screwing everyone exactly the same. I just want to spend Thanksgiving Day.
Stop right there. I can't talk tonight. Censorship's an issue because they choose what they erase. You don't really need to say anything else. And on top of the fact that, again, I literally just talked about it. And there is a difference between hate speech and speech that you hate. And that is so powerful. So powerful. Because it is so true. Now, the media doesn't want you to realize that. The government doesn't want you to realize that. They want you to think that every time somebody has an opinion that is different than yours, they are being this, they are being that, it is hate speech, it is this. No. And you can absolutely hate what they're saying. You can hate what they stand for. But that doesn't mean that what they're saying is hate speech and that they're not entitled to that opinion. You just tune it out. You don't listen to it, associate with it, or bring yourself down to that level. By allowing ourselves to be so offended so easily by so many things and immediately wanting to say, oh, it's hate speech or it's this or it's that. First of all, we negate the atrocity of true hate speech. That's number one. And then, we also just negate anybody who does deal with true hate speech or has been a victim of it, because we're constantly playing victim. It's this victim mentality, this, this, why being offended is so trendy. Like, why is it? I don't understand. I don't understand. If I see something that I don't like, I either A, ignore it, or B, I will say something, leave a comment, whatever, and then I move on. I don't let it, I don't spend my day upset about it. I don't play social justice warrior. I don't believe in any of that stuff, because I don't believe that in any of this cancel culture, oh my goodness tonight, censorship. I don't know. Again, guys, it's just my opinion. That's all, for what it's worth. Maybe not much. Just my opinion, though. Now we're buffering, guys. Okay, we're good. We're good. We're ready to go. Let's just go.
Food in my family without being accused of celebrating native casualties. We got so divided, it's black and white and political. Republicans are bigots, libtards if you're liberal. There's riots in our streets and it's just getting worse. Y'all screaming deep on the police, y'all are genius for sure. They're underfunded already, they're way too busy to work. Order food and call the cops, see what reaches you first. Segregation ended, that's a lie in itself. That was a strategy to make us think they were trying to help. They knew that racism was hot if they designed it to sell. We buy up every single box and
Okay, so I already know that line right there is probably one that would touch the most nerves so easily before people took their emotions out and really thought about it. Because he is not saying that the Black Lives Matter movement is not valuable or not necessary. He's basically saying it's been pushed down, pushed away, to the point where it's not even talked about much anymore, because they're too busy screwing everybody in different ways to keep the issues and the division. They don't want that unity. They don't want things to get better. They don't. And it's terrible. It's a terrible thing to say. And I, could be deleted off the internet for even saying that. But it's the truth. And I'm not saying it from some conspiracy sense. So before anybody goes on that nonsense, that's not what I'm saying at all. I'm saying, look at the big picture. Look at the big picture. Tell me what anybody is doing to bring anybody together right now. Where is this unity that we called for? We just spent how much money? At least 10, 50, 100, 500, who knows, million on an impeachment trial that we literally already knew the outcome of. And if you didn't already know the outcome, come on now, then you listen to CNN too much. I'm not trying to, say that, oh, here we go, Again, I listen to, I shouldn't say that. If I'm going to listen to the news or I'm trying to research a subject, I listen to all sides of the news and then look up things independently because I don't watch the news outside of that. Unless I'm coming to talk to you guys about something, and then I look at both sides, try to look at some independent things so I can get the best idea that I can, because outside of that, I don't watch it because I don't believe anything that comes out of their mouth. 90% of the time, I can just go basically close to the opposite of whatever they're saying or find the middle between, like if, CNN says this and Fox says this, then I know somewhere around the middle mark, I'm going to be, my guess then will be the closest to the truth outside of that. You see what I mean? And that's also a terrible thing to say because we should have a media that just reports facts and also takes to task all of those in power. That's what they're for. Well, supposed to be for. But now, it's like, I don't know. I feel like it's like a constant talk show, no matter what hour of the day or the news program is. It's just my opinion. But anyway, we just spent all that time and all that money. And we could have been helping the Black Lives Matter movement. We could have been sending stimulus checks. I've already gone over some of this. We could have, been helping student debt. We could have been helping first responders. We could have been helping, single parents who can't work because we're still in lockdowns that we were assured we weren't going to be in. So, I could go on and on and on, guys. I'm not going to continue to beat a dead horse, but it just goes to show you that they don't care about the things that they say they care about. They don't. They care about their own agenda, not the one that you sent them there for, their own. And I really hope that on both sides of the aisle, that they all start getting taken to task on that come 2022 and the primaries. I really do. I really hope that both sides start to stand up to their, representatives and senators and say, you're done. We're not doing this anymore. We want new Democrats in there. We want new Republicans in there. You're not doing the job that we sent you for. You're done. And if we would do that, I'm not saying one side of the aisle, not the other. I'm saying both. Respective parties need to start sending better representation to Washington. Because you always need that balance. Nobody should have just a bunch of people that all think the same. We see how well that's going. With all three branches being, Democrat now, when all three are the same, what are they getting done? And it's not a dig on a specific political party. It's just the total lack of competence that exists, the total lack of understanding with what real people who don't have hundreds of thousands, millions of dollars, all these properties, all these things, all this privilege, they don't get it. So they don't care. We need to start sending people to Washington who get it. that's a whole other conversation we could have. But I don't think those down there need to be the wealthiest. I don't think you should have to be the richest person to, you know, basically buy your seat. I think you should be there because you actually get the people that you're representing. You actually understand the majority of the working class. You actually understand poverty. You actually understand because you've lived amongst these people. You've been colleagues and friends and acquaintances, not that you've sat with a silver spoon your entire life and just care about turning it into a gold one. Because, I mean, we'll be here for 6 hours. So I'll leave it at that. If you guys want to talk about it more, we can in the comments. We can on Twitter. We can do a live. And I will go the whole way off the rails and just lay it all out for you all. What I think. And you can tell me what you think and we can interact. So if you want to do that, let me know that down in the comments. I am more than happy. I'm hoping to jump on a live this week, some point in time anyway, this week or this weekend. So if you see it pop up, hi. But I don't know, guys. We'll just keep going. We're gonna leave it at that.
We use violence to get peace and wonder why it isn't working. That's like sleeping with a football team to try and be a virgin. Politicians are for sale and someone always makes the purchase, but you and I cannot afford it. Our democracy is worthless. If a man has mental illness, call him crazy, say it silently. When country's going crazy, we accept it as society.
So we've already talked about it. I mean, I'm going to pause it there for just a second, but I mean, just go back to what I've been saying. Okay, we're getting into a super lengthy video and I knew that would, you know, I was going to have to, because this song made me feel something. Like, it really was like, oh my gosh, like maybe I'm not the only person who thinks some of these things sometimes. That doesn't mean I agree with every single word, but at the same time, I also understand, though, where it all is coming from. I get it. That's all. But anyway, we'll continue because this video is getting super long. And if you're still here with me, I love you. So thank you. I appreciate it that you guys let me talk. But I needed to talk about this song. I needed to. I feel like I've made my grandmother listen to it. I've made my daughter listen to it. Anybody that I come across, I make them listen to it. If I see somebody say something on Twitter that is like I literally will just post the link to the song because it's like, you need to hear it, you know? But they need to probably, maybe every morning when they start their day in Congress, just blast this to them. And then maybe we could start, you know, reverse programming where it was us programming them with the things we wanted them to hear. I don't know. That's just an idea. Maybe we could pitch that, do a vote or something.
Get sick and take a pill when the side effects get you high. You get addicted like these rappers dying fighting with sobriety. Censoring the facts turns our children into idiots. They claim it's for our safety. I'll tell you what it really is. Removing information that empowers all the citizens. The truth doesn't damage points of view that are legitimate. They're trying to change amen to amen and women. How'd we let them make praying a microaggression? Instead of asking God for the strength to keep winning, we cheat to get ahead and then we ask him for forgiveness. Feminism used to be the most righteous of fights, but these days it feels like they secretly hate guys. I don't trust anyone who bleeds for a week and don't die. I'm just kidding, but everything else that I said is right. They so fake woke. Facts don't care about feelings. They know they won't tell me what to believe in. They so fake woke. Same old, same songs. They so fake woke. Facts don't care about your feelings.
All right, that last part is comical, and I can tell you, though, that the first time I heard it, I was like, whoa, where are we going with this? Even though, I mean, I can't even say with, like, 100% straight face where I'm like, because, I mean, there are always extremes in every group. So when, you know, you have feminists, there are people who take that 10 steps too far and just hate everybody that isn't female. And so I get it. Trust me, I do. Yeah. So you guys let me know, though, what you think. I think it is very powerful. I think the message is so important. Again, the link will be down in the description box. I'm not going to keep you much longer because I kept you for way too long as it is anyway. But I just want to say I appreciate you. If you hung out with me, if you listened, please go listen on his page. Leave him a comment or a like or a dislike, I guess, if you don't like it. But again, it's just one of those things that starts a conversation, you know, that walks that fine line down the middle of all these important topics and all these hot takes of what's going on in our country. And, you know, until we start having the courage to have the conversations, nothing gets changed, nothing gets fixed. And until we start standing up and demanding better of those that are there supposedly working for us, and until we start putting better people there, well, you know, when you keep doing the same thing, expecting a different result, we talked about that last week with the impeachment, you get what I mean, okay? So with that being said, guys, I appreciate you. I love you. We will try to jump on a live this week. Let's talk down in the comment section below or over on Twitter. If you need to reach out to me privately, you can do that. All my socials are down below. So is my email address. Anytime, I am always here, always a welcoming ear, and it will always stay between, you know, the two of us. Won't go outside of that. And with that, I think that's it for tonight, guys. So I love you. I appreciate you. Thank you. Please have a good rest of your week. Stay safe, happy, healthy, and I will see you here soon.